do Nguyễn Hữu Quốc Bảo, Nguyễn Hữu Bảo Giang và Nguyễn Hữu Kiến Nam đã viết, và các em cũng là hậu duệ của Việt Nam Quốc dân đảng. Dạ, xin kính chào quý vị.
Communist regime in Vietnam for the past 44 years after the fall of Saigon and during the 74 years since the establishment of the communist regime in North Vietnam has been a continuous series of abuse against the people of Vietnam. 44 years ago, our beautiful and strong sovereign nation was tarnished and dragged to the ground by the communist invaders who sought to restrain our liberty and justice. The communist totalitarian regime of North Vietnam had taken over South Vietnam, a nation in which all Vietnamese people deserve the natural rights of independence, liberty, democracy, justice, and compassion. Though our country was lost, we had not yet given up the fight for these natural rights. We did not submit when thousands of Vietnamese were ostracized for their political or even religious beliefs and sent to die in concentration camps, which were deceitfully called re-education camps by the communist regime. We continued on dauntlessly when thousands of Vietnamese were exiled, leaving behind a lifetime of peace and tranquility. Our fight for liberty and justice will never end. We are living proof of this. We are still here and we are still fighting. We are here to serve as a reminder for current and future generations of the crimes against humanity committed by the communist regime. We are here to continue the fight of establishing a democratic government. That government's purpose will be the building of solidarity of the entire Vietnamese nation while protecting Vietnam's territorial integrity and sovereignty. It has been shown clearly and repeatedly that the communist regime in Vietnam has not only destroyed our people's national solidarity and trust between each other, but also has generated an active division between our people. Neighbors turned on one another, and family turned on each other due to the control tactics that the communist regime implemented. Imagine being denied the right to speak your mind to close friends for the fear of being reported. That was a control tactic used by the communists to maintain their grip on the people, reflected through the following policies: the Land Reform Act, the re-education camps, and Resolution 36, which sought to control Vietnamese overseas. The communist regime has not done anything to protect Vietnam's national territorial integrity and sovereignty against communist China. The Paracel and Spratly Islands were not only an integral part of Vietnam, but a position of strategic advantage for those who controlled it. They have been cowardly sold off to communist China by the communist regime. To add even more insult to injury, when communist China invaded to claim Johnson's Reef, Đảo Gạc Ma, the Vietnamese soldiers stationed there were ordered to cease fire, and 64 brave men were consequently massacred. Moreover, every year citizens of Vietnam hold private memorials for those 64 men, which are shut down and barred by the government. This was the government's way of forcing Vietnamese people to forget. The communist regime in Vietnam has limited citizens to poverty by using slavery and tactics of unimaginable cruelty, such as the aforementioned re-education camps or the new economic zones, kinh tế mới, and or industrial and trade reform, cải tạo công thương nghiệp, which scammed our people of their lifetime of work instead of providing them with independence, liberty, and democracy. The communist regime in Vietnam has failed to treat our people with justice and compassion. Formosa is one of hundreds of incidents in which the communist government colluded and saw eye to eye with corporations that destroyed Vietnam's environment. The Formosa incident in 2016 saw the dumping of industrial toxic waste, which destroyed vast ocean ecosystems along 4 provinces in central Vietnam. Many fishermen were left jobless due to the destruction of the ocean. And when they protested for change and protection for the environment, they were arrested and beaten by the communist police. Therefore, we believe that the communist regime in Vietnam never had and never will have the mandate given to them by the Vietnamese people. We believe the following truths to be self-evident: that in order for its people to have an outstanding quality of life, a nation must first have independence, and that in order for the people to have freedom, they must have civil rights, that each government must be governed democratically and under rule of law. It is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it if the government fails to represent the people and to institute new government. We, representatives of the Vietnamese Canadian Patriotic Youth Group and Vietnamese at large, come from many different backgrounds, but we are all fighting for the common cause of liberty and democracy with justice for all Vietnamese. We firmly request that the communist regime in Vietnam step down peacefully, release all political prisoners, restore true freedom and liberty to everyone, and let the people of Vietnam decide their own political future. The next government should be voted in so that the voices of our people be heard loud and clear. Finally, yet importantly, we would like to use this opportunity to honor those who have lost their lives in the struggle for liberty and justice around the world, and especially to all Vietnamese who have sacrificed everything, including their lives, for our struggle. On the battlefield, in re-education camps, or on the perilous seas to give the next generation a better life free from the totalitarian communist regime. Martin Luther King once had a dream for equality, and his dream has since been recognized and come true. We have a dream for Vietnam to once again be free of the communist regime. And like Mr. King's dream, we must take action in order to see a change. Thank you for participating in this rally and showing support and solidarity for Vietnamese people around the world, especially in this awful weather.
Một tràng thật lớn nữa cho chị Mỹ Linh và cháu Bảo Giang. Thank you very much for two wonderful speeches representing the next two generations of Vietnamese people. Thank you very much.